Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. Sorry, this is going to be my updated video on my Charlotte, so it's definitely an update. I will show you with how I've settled into using her now with this setup, and then I'll show you without Howdy as well. So you can see without Howdy, and probably also without Sherry, why not? I won't have graphics for those, but I will show you without Howdy and without Sherry. So the really I didn't want to have to go to the Yellow Royal Rumble on Charlotte, but I think with the changes to the game recently, more hit points and stuff like that, she needed it. Also, I finally got 130% strap from, I was using a 40% strap up until this month. I finally got one. So we're still using the Nightmare plate, and then I finally had to cave in and go with the Yellow Royal Rumble. I got one and I put it on her, and it's really quite good. So yeah, it's the normal 2-click, the subs in there just to look at. Natural selection, 1 MP, of course you know it, make 30 random gems into multiply gems of strength 2, overhead belly to belly, 5 MP yellow, deal 154k damage, destroy 30 random multiply gems. Just enough to set off the Royal Rumble. I do have all of her gears. The important one, I mean, all of them are useful, but the 3 MP is really important, and so is the 2 bigger multiply gems. And now with using the Yellow Royal Rumble, this comes in really handy. So Mosh is really nice. Since we're using a Royal Rumble, we want to make extra multiply gems, so he gives us 5 and also 1 strength on all of them. Sherry, of course, gives us 4. Santa gives us the 1 MP we need to be loaded. And Howdy gives us 6 additional multiply gems and increases all of the multiply gems by 60%. So that in total means we're making 41 at 7 times plus the gear. We should be 41 at 9 times. I did try with and without Leo, and sometimes things went really well with Leo, but this is super consistent in my preference now to running her if you're using a Yellow Royal Rumble. It's super simple. It's 2 pretty fast clicks, and then you just wait for the chaos to ensue. You can see not a particularly great board, a few yellow multiplies, but then the Yellow Rumble comes out and we miss 3 of them, and we still hit for 82 million gem damage, missing 3 of them. So typically you're somewhere between 80 and 90 million with this setup. I'll run this a couple times and then I'll back some of the trainers down for you guys to see. But it's really fast. So it's hits slightly less harder than Showboat Asuka, but it is definitely faster. And by slightly less harder, I mean my 2-move Showboat Asuka build. 3-move, you're going to hit like 150, right? But Asuka with 2 moves, you can hit like 110, but there's a lot more placing, reinforces go out, etc., etc. This one also not quite as great. We missed some stuff, but hit for 88 million, right? I think once you're over that 80 million mark, you're a lot more safe these days. So I do like being in that range now. And she does kind of need the Yellow Royal Rumble to get in that range, unfortunately. So yeah, this works really well for consistency though. With making so many extra multiplies, you don't get a lot of yellows, stuff goes wrong, etc. Of course, anytime there's a multiply buff in feud or any color gem, it's helpful. And then, there's going to be times where you just get way more yellows and you're going to hit really hard, but you can see it's a consistent, hard hitting, really good build, super fast, super easy to use, with what I got going on. So let's back the trainers down a little bit for you guys, and I'll show you first with No Howdy. No Howdy, you're going to use a zombie or Leo if you have Leo, right? If you had Leo, you would use Leo if you don't have Howdy, for sure. But if not, just use a zombie. Obviously, Punk, if you have him, we're going to just use Chelsea since we're backing it down. Punk would be yellow and quite good, because you're also using the Yellow Royal Rumble and you're getting the most yellow gems. So Zombie Punk would be very good. That would be your next choice after Leo for Howdy. So Howdy, you don't have Howdy, then Leo, then Zombie Punk, and then probably, it doesn't matter which zombie, but for this purpose of this, we're using Chelsea. You can see we still have the ×9s, just a few less multiply gems, but we broke them all, so our damage is still pretty good at 71 million. not too bad, right? For No Howdy, you just make that switch to her and you're still pretty decent. When you lose Sherry, it definitely hurts, but then you can double zombie. And if you're using the Royal Rumble, I do think you want to keep Mosh. So what we're going to do is we're just going to throw Big Braun Strowman in. And then we can lose Santa. And then we can use another zombie. We'll just use... actually, you could use Brett, or since we're going for yellows, let's just use this Brett. You could use another zombie, or you could use Striker Brett. Either one. They're going to be fairly close, I think. But, you know, we can end up getting 70% on the yellows and the 35% on the other gems. So since we're getting the most yellows, let's do that. But very close with this and any other zombie. You could make a case, you know, that maybe one of the other ones would be fine. And you can see here, we did 72 million because we caught a bunch more. So Sherry isn't always as good as people might think. That could be a board issue though, but you can see still 72 million, no Sherry, no Santa, no Howdy. So if you get the yellow Royal Rumble and the multiply plate, let's just shut this, shut this off. Let's just show you that a couple times because this is a lot more bare bones. It is a 130 strap, so keep that in mind. Strap makes a difference. And also, what we'll do, you need filled stars in max level. So you can see much more friendly trainer setup at this point than we originally started with, and still pretty dang good, right? So I think Charlotte gets slept on a lot still to this day, and I think she can be very useful for a lot of people on a lot of rosters. In particular, the ease of use and the speed is fantastic. That's a lot of loot box gems, so that's pretty gross. And we still 66 million, right? So I think that gives you a pretty good idea on how Charlotte is. This is my updated My Charlotte video. And I still, like, currently, I don't have Mommy. I think Mommy's better. And I think Michelle McCool is better. But I think then it's between her and Asuka this way, it's really actually close. I think she's faster and easier to play than Asuka, so fits my playstyle preference. Asuka hits harder, and I think more people will like that. It also depends what you have for all of them, though, right? So I do think, though, she's in the argument for 3 to 4 spot for Lady Showboats, honestly, with the right stuff. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. This is the updated My Charlotte. I still really like her. She's still really good. Strap makes a huge difference for her. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and good luck out there. Yeah, she can still get it done. Abso-freaking-lutely. Still get it done. Also in a really weak era, so that's helpful.